What's up, guys? I'm out here with my 2003 Yamaha Roadstar. I think it's a 2003. Might be 2001, I don't know. It's been a while. I've had this bike for like 7 years. I've done a bunch of different stuff to it. If you saw my last video, it was all painted. As you can see, there's very little paint on it left. There was an ordeal with the gas tank kind of exploding. So right now what you're looking at is just some plasti dip that's covering most of the paint. There's still some metal flake that you can see right there that I was too lazy to paint over. But yeah, it has a coat of plasti dip on there and just some cheap white marker. I'll make a separate video showing what happened, but I'll insert a quick clip right here. Yeah, it was kind of crazy. Luckily I had an extra gas tank, and I used that extra gas tank, and I was like, dude, I can't paint this tank right now. Let me just plasti dip the rest of the stuff black over the paint that I have, and maybe I'll get to it later. So yep, that's the state of the paint. Right now I still have this Leatherworks ink ostrich skin bag on the side of my bike, and the dye that I used for it is starting to fade off, so I'm gonna re-dye that thing at some point. If you have a Roadstar, you know that these bikes normally have the license plate light and the license plate bracket and the brake light and everything right here. I welded all these holes up and threw some Bondo on it and painted over it. That was a couple of years ago. This sissy bar, I made this a while ago. Normally has like a lowbrow customs auxiliary fuel tank on there, but I don't have it on there right now. I made this, not sure if you can see this. I'll try and frame this up so you can see it a little bit better. This flying eyeball brake light. There's like a plastic honeycomb lens in here, and I had a red LED in there for a while as just a brake light, like a running light, but it kept breaking and stuff, and I never really took the time to make it permanent in there, so I left it out. Again, one of those someday projects. I had a brake light mounted down here at one point where this hole is at, but it was an old brake light, an old Dietz brake light, and it ended up breaking. So yep, that's why that hole's there. The sissy bar I made specifically to hold stuff because I take this bike to the swap meet a lot, and I was using it for like kind of semi-long road trips, and I wanted somewhere to hold all my stuff. So this is a luggage rack that I made to hold the bag back here, and then obviously it's a tall sissy bar, so I could put a tall bag on here. I kind of made this kind of extend up over where the seat is at, so I could put a backpack strap on there, the top hoop or whatever it is. And I do that a lot whenever I'm just loading up my backpack from the swap meet or wherever I'm taking it. And I made this seat along with the sissy bar, so I kind of made them both at the same time so that they would fit each other. The sissy bar is mounted with these bungs that I made that go through the stock fender eyebrows or fender rails, and it mounts into the subframe. If you have a Yamaha Roadstar, you know that these fenders like to crack, so mine has done that. Did it a long time ago. There's some flat pieces of steel under here that I welded to the fender, all up under here, and then also the subframe I had to weld at some point because it cracked. That was some years ago. So I've had this bike at least 7 years, maybe 8, I'm not sure, I don't remember. I made this king and queen style seat using some marine vinyl and cheap Walmart sewing machine, and it's held up for a while. It's got like tons of wrinkles, and I didn't really plan out how to make this. Underneath here is just like a metal seat frame, and then I covered it in foam, and then basically learned how to make kind of this, can't remember what the name of this outer trim piece is. I don't know. This was my first seat that I really tried hard to make, and it's starting to crack, and all the stitching is pulling through, but you know, I've got a lot of years use out of it, so I'll probably make a new seat for this bike eventually. Part of making this seat, I had to relocate a bunch of stuff under the seat. I'll probably make another video going through everything that's underneath the seat, and then maybe the stuff that's underneath the side cover, and maybe go more into detail about where I moved the stuff if you guys are interested in that kind of thing. But yeah, I did a lot of the wiring on this bike. I've redone pretty much all of it. On the side cover here, this thing is totally falling off. Look at this. These little grommets inside here are all worn out and stuff, and if you can see right here, I've had to cut this thing and modify it to make my wiring loom or whatever, wiring harness coming out of here to make it all work. But yeah, on the side cover, I have the headlight switch. I have it on, off. It's high beam, low beam, and off. Off is the center. And I like having that ability to turn the headlight off in case I need to diagnose something with the electrical system and it's not sitting there draining the battery. The starter switch is right here. Obviously, I don't have any buttons on my handlebars, and the starter switch is relocated right here. This is like I guess a secondary starter switch. On this bike, I've had all sorts of issues with the starting system. I've rebuilt the starter. I have made new battery cables, or the cable that's going to the starter, the larger gauge wire. I can't remember what it is, but I followed the instructions online, made the new cables. It still had issues. It had issues when the starter button was on the handlebars, and I cleaned the contacts on the starter button, and that kind of solved it. But then it always had this intermittent starting issue. I changed out the relay, same thing. Changed out the battery, same thing. New charging system, same thing. What I found is that there was a wire coming from the igniter unit, and it's supposed to be giving you a ground, and it was intermittently giving me the ground. So and I figured out that when I tried to start the bike, since it was like an intermittent issue, it was really hard to diagnose. When I tried to start the bike, it had the ground coming from that wire, and then when the bike didn't want to start, I checked that same wire and there was no ground coming from it. So I think it was a black and white wire coming from the igniter unit. Again, when I make a detailed video about what's behind these side covers, I'll go through and show you that wire. And basically what this button does is, and in the event that my bike doesn't want to start, which is intermittent again, that wire coming from the igniter unit is going to this momentary push button. And then the other side of this momentary push button is going to a ground. So basically, if my bike doesn't want to start, if I press this, it doesn't want to start, I hold down on this button, and while I'm holding down on it, I press this button, the bike will start. It works every single time. I've tried every other way. I've tried buying used relays, starter relays from different Yamahas, Roadstars, V-Stars, Yamaha Grizzly. I think they're all the same. I've tried Chinese ones that are, I guess, non-OEM ones, because everyone says OEM is the way to go. But what I found is it would work intermittently when it was on the bike, and then when I would take the same relay and bench test it, it would work fine, like every time. So I couldn't figure out like what it was. I even went to the point of cutting one of the starter relays in half to see what was inside there and why it was failing, and I couldn't figure it out. It seemed like everything was working fine, and I think it all was working fine. I think that it's that igniter box or igniter unit. I think that's the issue. Down here, I got my key switch, my ignition switch. I don't have a kill switch anymore. In order to put this gas tank on, I had to move everything from the front of the gas tank. And I moved the key switch down here. When I take this cover off, I'll show you guys why I have to have this spacer on here that I made. I'm missing this bolt. Why does that bolt always come out? I've seen a bunch of people saying that that bolt comes out. Since I've had this bike, I've had to rebuild the engine. Third gear was messed up. One day on the freeway, it just cut out. So I've completely rebuilt this engine. If you guys are going to rebuild your engine, there is a kit for the transmission recall, which comes with like 90% of the gaskets you need. So if you're going to rebuild your bike, then get that kit. I'll try and find the exact part number, and I'll leave it in the description if I can find it. But yeah, I have this Sportster 1200 tank on here. I had to make some brackets to mount my gas tank and my seat. So on the front of the seat right here is this little kind of a tab coming out of the seat that I welded on the seat pan. There's a little spacer right here in between on the gas tank. And it's just going down to, I think this is where the original tank mounted. I can't remember. It's been such a long time since I had the stock tank on this bike. This is just painted with some cheap paint markers. And it gets smeared and messed up all the time, so I don't really care. Right here I got the fuel pump deleted. And in its place I have on the top motor mount, I have this L bracket that I made for the hand shifter. And I also have this enricher knob bracket. And yeah, so that's what I have instead of the fuel pump. You can see right here the hand shifter. Obviously it's got this Frankenstein shifter knob that I got from the swap meet. It's going down to this pivot point. It's got these little I think they're like nylon washers on here, and then it goes down to these Heim joints that I took stock Yamaha shifter linkage and shortened it, cut it, welded it, shortened it, and made it to the length that I needed, which clears up the bottom. Normally this is where the floorboard would be, but I have these pegs on here. These are like old highway pegs, I think, and I just cut the bracket. If you guys wanted to put pegs on your bike, I prefer pegs over the floorboards, so I just drilled a hole right in this stock bracket and just bolted it in there, and it's been fine. I've had it on there for a while. If you could see right here, the petcock, it's kind of funny on this lever right here. I had to shorten it because of this top motor mount. This was like the lowest I could get the front of the gas tank without even more complications. So the gas tank there's a hole drilled in the frame, and I welded a I guess like a spacer in there to accommodate the bolt that's going through there. And it's got like some rubber grommets on there to kind of help with the vibration. So yeah, hopefully I will have another video of me riding this bike. There's some other videos that I uploaded, but there's some issue with the footage. So you guys can watch it if you want. It's kind of just thrown together just to try out the editing software that came with this camera. But if anyone's curious, the way it's set up right now, to downshift, you'd pull it down towards you, and to upshift, you'd push it away. Yeah, I've had it like this for at least 6 years, and I've had no issues with it. It's fun to ride like this. Yeah, I have like an inline filter right here, I had an issue with this bike before I got this gas tank on here where the carb was puking. When I did the fuel pump delete, I also got this inline filter, and I vented the gas cap, and that took care of everything. So if you're having an issue with your bike, that might be where you should look. Right when I got the bike, I took off the kickstand switch, the clutch switch, the front brake switch, any of those switches, as well as like I think it's called the starter circuit cutoff relay. I removed all that and all the unnecessary wiring that I could. There's no reflectors or turn signals on this bike. Again, no switches on the handlebars. These handlebars I got from the swap meet. I don't know, they're like maybe 14-inch handlebars. I got them for like $5, and I just wanted to put something different on there while I try and diagnose the issue that I've had with the bike. So, yep, that's it. As far as the bars, if you need custom size brake line, they're fairly inexpensive. Just a quick tip, measure this fitting. I believe this is called a banjo fitting, and this is called, I believe, a banjo bolt. And normally they will sell the bolt with a couple of washers, and this is a universal type, so it just has like a screw-on fitting right here, so you can get like a custom size length of brake line, and it's pretty cheap to do it that way. I think these fittings are like maybe $8 to $10 a piece. This is like a 0-degree fitting, and then the bolt, the banjo bolt, I think I had it already because of the stock one. I think I used the stock one. And then this line was like maybe $8 or $10. It's really old and brittle, but I have had this on there for a long time, so I'll get a new one soon. But yeah, in case you guys wanted to get a brake line, also it doesn't have to go all the way down to the calipers, obviously. It just has to go down to the bottom of the lower triple tree clamp. So it's not that long of a line, in case you guys wanted to get taller bars on your bike. I had this fairing that I made with this flux core Harbor Freight welder probably 10 years ago. This thing is super porous, and it's super rusty. It's cool. A lot of people like it. I think it looks cool, like a knight's helmet. I kind of wanted to make like a shield that would fit right inside of here and kind of be able to like slide down and slide up just for looks. Maybe like use some kind of cable system to like just pull it up, like maybe a choke cable or something. I don't know. But I always wanted to do that. I was thinking I'll probably maybe like copy the template of this and modify it a little bit and remake it maybe with my nicer welder now. But yeah, took the fork shields off. I think these fork shields were already off in the last video I made. I made this little like coffin shaped fiberglass, or plexiglass windshield. It doesn't really do anything, but it just directs the wind right into my eyeballs. Recently I got some new front brake rotors, so that's nice because my brake rotors were super warped. I made this crash bar to hold a different fairing that I had, but this thing I made it out of some plate steel, some like diamond plate, and then it's mounted right here on the bottom engine mounting bracket surface. I don't know, wherever that bracket is mounted for the lower engine mount, that's where it's mounted. So I just got some longer bolts and made this little crash bar. It's got some 1-inch handlebar grips on there. It's a 1-inch tube, and this has saved my bike like 2 times at least, where I slipped on some antifreeze one time, and the bike just kind of tipped over and pivoted on this thing. So it saved my tank and my bars and everything. And I know at least one other time I dropped it. Maybe there was some dirt or something. I can't remember, but I know it saved the bike at least 2 times so far. If you look right here, you can see the remnants of some of that metal flake that the whole bike used to be painted in. Hopefully I can get some kind of painting booth at some point and start painting parts again. I have all the metal flake and everything and the paint and most of the painting supplies, but I just don't have really a lot of room to do it where I won't get the parts all dirty and stuff at my house. There's like a lot of dirt in my driveway and stuff. Not sure if this was on the bike already, but this is this velocity stack that I got from a swap meet. I think it's a Baron velocity stack. It kind of sucks with this carburetor, but I like the way it looks. But again, as far as performance, I think it kind of sucks. The bike hesitates and pops and stuff, and you know, runs like crap a lot of times. Again, if you want to use pegs, I took the stock bracket and cut it, and then made this little kind of bracket piece and welded it on there. And then man, there's like so many flies like flying right into my mouth every time I try and talk, in my eyes, everywhere. I'm out here at El Capitan Reservoir. Super nice out here. Memorial Day, but yeah, there's a ton of bugs out here. Yeah, I made this little thing to use pegs. If you have a Roadstar, you'll notice that the ignition coils, I think they're normally up underneath the tank right here. They're removed on this bike, or they're moved. I used some, I'm not sure what size wiring it is. You'd have to look it up. I'm sure it's online somewhere. I'm sure I posted it somewhere about extending these spark plug wires, but you can extend them. And I use these NGK adapter things. It's like a little thing where you cut your stock wire. I think on the stock ignition coil, you can't take the wire out to extend it. So I think what I had to do is cut it and then put this little adapter piece on there. And then you can basically take whatever size spark plug wire you need and extend it to wherever you need it. So in this case, my ignition coil, all the coils are they're extended and they're put behind the side cover. And behind the side cover also is the road wing shock, the wrap remote adjustable preload, I think. I don't know. It's a little preload adjuster for the rear shock. That's one of the other upgrades that I done on this bike. I did the road wing shock modification. And right now it seems okay. It seems kind of stiff. I think maybe I need a new rear shock. Maybe the shock itself is worn out. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna look into that. I got this little cracked oil pressure gauge right here. It's running down to a and I'm not sure what that port is, but there's like a small port on the bottom of the engine. I think it's for some kind of testing. I think maybe it's for testing the oil pressure, possibly. But I just left the gauge on there, and I think that's where everyone hooks it up at. That was kind of a headache, finding the right size oil line and the adapters I needed and everything to make this work. But if I find the link to my old post about it, I'll post it on here if anyone's interested, in the description. If I find it, I probably won't. As far as modifications, that's pretty much it. I made this exhaust from some, I don't know, regular slash cut drag pipes for a Roadstar. I think, I don't know. I got this 2-in-1 section from maybe a Harley, cut it, made it adapt onto these pipes, and then again cut another muffler piece with this fish cell, gutted it, and then just welded it all up. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully I'll get these issues figured out with the footage. I've been contacting Insta360 about the, I don't know, all the weird grainy footage that I've been getting from these videos. So hopefully this video isn't messed up. Either way, I'm gonna post it, even if it is, because this is like the third time I've tried to make this video, and then when I get home, the footage looks good on the camera, and then when I'm editing it, it just kind of turns out like crap. So yep, that's it. That's the state of the 2001 to 2003. It's one of those years. I know those are all the same years, so it's one of those. Yamaha Roadstar, and I think I'll probably keep this bike for good, because I've already rebuilt the engine on it, and yeah, I don't want to curse anyone with this bike. I feel like kind of sketched out selling it to someone after I rebuilt it, and you know, I'm confident, but I also have a conscience, I guess. But yeah, that's it. That's my review of the bike that I'm riding, which is the Yamaha Roadstar, and I'll keep you guys updated on any progress that I make on it. Right now, the issue that I'm having with it is the front end seems kind of wobbly. I don't know, it seems sketchy whenever I'm on the freeway. It almost seems like the rear suspension is maybe a little too stiff, and the front forks, the last time I changed out the seals was maybe 5 years ago, and they seem kind of cracked. So it's just this outer seal that seems like cracked, but you know, I don't know, maybe some dirt could get in there or something, and maybe it's been slowly leaking fluid and I haven't been able to tell. But it seems like maybe it's not the right either amount of fluid. Like I said, it's been like 5 years, and I've had like, essentially I've had 2 kids and started a family since the last time I was messing with anything heavily on this bike besides rebuilding the engine. So I don't remember. I think I put 10 weight fork oil in there, and I think it said 5 to 10 weight, so I'm not sure. I am going to try and put some new fork oil in here, and then probably rebuild it and put some new seals on it, and then see if that does anything, and maybe go down to like a 7 weight and then see if that does anything. And like I said, I'll probably end up taking that rear shock off, and maybe I'll look for a new Goldwing rear shock. I think I used the stock Roadstar spring, if I remember correctly, on this bike. I don't know. That I did right when I got the bike, because the rear suspension failed like right when I got it. So yep, that's pretty much it. This bike overall seems like a good platform. I like that it's 1600 cc's. I like that it's air cooled. Things I don't like about it probably are that the engine and transmission are all built into the same bottom end, essentially. So it's not like a Evo or something, or it's not like you can just like take the transmission apart if you need to replace something in it. You have to take like the whole engine out. It was a huge headache to take this engine out of here when I took it out. At least it was for me. Yeah, I dislike that. That's not a major thing. The front end, the stem bearings, those needing to be adjusted and everything. If you have this bike, you already know that's one of the problems that they have, so that was pretty annoying to have to deal with. Yeah, just the rear shock, and then that rear fender cracking. I'm not sure what else they could have really done about that besides maybe reinforce the rear fender. But yeah, overall, this is a cool bike. I like it. I like that it's kind of like a Softail clone, and I do like these this engine design. I think it's a cool engine design. This whole transfer case thing, I don't know. I've seen one other bike where it just went straight back with the sprocket, and I think it was like a chain drive on the right side. But that's pretty extreme modification for a Roadstar. But yeah, not exactly a chopper, I guess, if you guys haven't guessed, or if you're being official about it. Unless you count chopping off the little tabs for the ignition coils and chopping off the freaking ignition mounting bracket that goes right here, then maybe it's officially a chopper. But I guess it's not officially a chopper because the frame isn't really that chopped, but for a Roadstar, it is pretty highly modified in my opinion. Everybody asks about this seat, so maybe I'll make a seat eventually and sell it. I do have like the stock sissy bar bracket that goes over these fender brackets, or the fender brows, or whatever you call them. I have the stock one with a stock sissy bar, so I'm in the process of kind of designing a taller sissy bar like this, that will be able to just basically slide into those brackets in place of the sissy bar that's like a little bit shorter, that comes, the little chrome one. I thought maybe it'd be cool if you could take that little chrome one out, and then maybe not necessarily one as complex as this, but maybe a taller sissy bar, a pointy one, or whatever you guys can think of. If you guys have any ideas for a design, let me know. I'm gonna try and make one and then see if anyone wants to buy them. I haven't seen like kind of taller sissy bars for the Yamaha Roadstars, or if you know somewhere that sells them, post a link in the comments. I want to see it, because I haven't seen them. But yeah, this is my Roadstar. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. I've been riding it like this for a while, and I had a different fairing on there, but I put this smaller fairing on there so I can kind of take it on and off and diagnose what's going on with my front end. So yeah, I'll hopefully post a better video of me riding this thing around. So, yep. See you guys.